Hi there, and welcome to the Sunny Daze Podcast. I'm your host, Jolly, and I hope you've had a wonderful week thus far. So let's grab a cup of sunshine and get started with today's podcast. First up, a 79-year-old former police officer is the oldest graduate at Texas A&M Central Texas. Well, Chuck Simmons, a former Houston police officer, recently made history at Texas A&M Central Texas by becoming the oldest graduate in the school's history at 79 years of age. After running out of things to read during the COVID-19 pandemic, Simmons decided to finish his undergraduate degree, which he had started 50 years earlier. Last May, Chuck Simmons walked across the stage to receive his degree in criminal justice, and he isn't stopping there. He is now taking master courses in Homeland Security and plans to volunteer his time as a court-appointed special advocate for neglected children. Way to go, Chuck. I've never known where life would take me, to be honest, he said. I never knew I would be here. I never knew that I would be a policeman, Chuck said. I want to encourage my grandkids, my great grandkids, people that are older, people that are younger. You can do it, and there are many ways. Among his many accomplishments, Chuck Simmons also shared a lighter memory from his past. Elvis Presley once fell on him while he was working security at a concert. Interesting bit of information. Well, thank you, Chuck, for all your learning and teaching us. And now, well, the state of education recognized a group of students in the 2024 Superheroes, an inspiring group of Texas public school students who have made a significant impact in their respective communities through their volunteer efforts. Well, an extra Sunny Day shout out to District 15, Austin Ellis of Levelland ISD. Austin Ellis, a senior at Levelland Academic Beginning Center in Levelland ISD, had dedicated years to volunteering, notably with Bill's Backpacks, helping feed 220 students weekly. As president of Young Emerging Leaders of Levelland, YELL is what it's called, YELL, he led a successful fundraiser tripling scholarship funds for peers. Austin's commitment extends to community cleanups, donations to nursing homes and food banks, and supporting a local animal shelter. At 18, his deep sense of giving back reflects a promising future filled with continued generosity and impact. Austin is recognized by SBOE, the State Board of Education, Chairman and District 15 member Aaron Kinsey. Way to go, young fella. Nice leading. And now some did you know? How about the holidays and celebrations and different observances in January? Well, for example, in the United States, there's really two widely recognized holidays in January. There's New Year's Day and there's Martin Luther King Day. Some cultural or religious observances in the United States. In addition to federally recognized holidays, there are a number of these that many people in the United States commemorate throughout the year. Let's take a look at a few examples. So for January, there's Epiphany, observed by many Christians as the day of Mega visited Jesus. Orthodox Christmas, that's January the 7th, celebrated by some Eastern Orthodox Christians. On January 14th is the Orthodox New Year, marked by certain Orthodox communities as the start of the calendar year. There's the Lunar New Year. It varies from January or February. It's recognized by many Asian American communities with culture and family celebrations. And there's Ash Wednesday. Dates vary. Typically, February or March marks the start of Lent in Western Christian traditions. Some cultural observances are Martin Luther King Day, which is the third Monday in January. While it is a federal holiday, it is also widely recognized with parades, community service events, and discussions on civil rights and social justice. It is also Black History Month. Actually, February is Black History Month. National Mentoring Month is in January. It encourages individuals to mentor youth and highlights the value of mentorship in personal and professional growth. There are so many things. And then Carnival, good old Mardi Gras. It begins in January or February, generally, depending on the date of Easter. In regions like Louisiana, Mardi Gras season kicks off on Epiphany and ends in Mardi Gras, combining cultural and religious traditions together. And the Native American tribal celebrations, various tribes hold winter celebrations and storytelling events during January, focusing on the community connection and cultural heritage. There's a fun facts for us to know about. And now, in our movie world this week, we let you, the listener, I ask you, what's your favorite movie of all times? And here's some of our answers. Citizen Kane was one, the original 1941, directed by Orson Welles. Citizen Kane was renowned for its innovative narrative structure and technical achievements. Very nice. The Godfather was number two, 1972. Another hit right following behind it. The next most popular was The Godfather Part Two, 1974. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was in 1975. Schindler's List, 1993. Forrest Gump was another favorite, 1994. And Back to the Future. Pretty nice little range there going on. And then for the listeners, what are some of your favorite songs? Like a Rolling Stone. So, I'm sorry. Let's try that again. Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. This song is considered to be very revolutionary in its design and execution. Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen. This song is considered an American ode to blue collar youth, and it's so popular as a karaoke song. Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Respect by Aretha Franklin. This song has been named one of the greatest songs of all time. Another, I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. This is considered another one of the greatest love songs of all time. Just some general information. Some of the top songs, speaking of all time, are listed were The Twist by Chubby Checker, Smooth by Santana, Mac the Knife by Bobby Darin, Like a Rolling Stone, that comes up again by Bob Dylan, I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stone, Imagine by John Lennon, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, another one that was mentioned in our favorites, Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, and those are just to name a few. We could go on with Thinking Out Loud, Ed Sheeran, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Cyndi Lauper, Hound Dog by Elvis Presley, Purple Rain by Prince. We could just go on and on. Shallow by Lady Gaga. So that's just to name a few. Get that radio music going out there. And now, how about a Jolly Chat story? We'll call The Snowy Big Easy. One crisp morning in early January, something extraordinary happened in New Orleans. The air, usually heavy with the scent of magnolias and the hum of jazz drifting down the streets, was now hushed. A curious quiet enveloped the city as big, fluffy snowflakes began to drip lazily from the sky. It was as if the entire French Quarter had been transformed to another world. One where powdered sugar didn't just cover the beignets, but blanketed everything. Robin and Murphy, both 8 years old, pressed their noses against the frosty window pane of Murphy's shotgun house. Their eyes grew wide as they watched the streets transform into wonderland. Cars were stuck. Streetcars had stopped, and Mr. LeBlanc, from the corner store, was trying to sweep his sidewalk clean with a Mardi Gras parade room. This is it, Robin whispered, her breath fogging the glass. The perfect snow day. We gotta go outside, Murphy said. Right now. They tugged on mismatched mittens, scarves, and whatever warmish clothes they could find. The concept of snow gear was foreign in New Orleans, so Robin wore 3 sweaters, and Murphy topped his winter look with a Saints jersey over his coat. They barreled out the front door and into the magical scene. Their first stop was a little park at the end of the block. It was normally a place for picnics and second-line rehearsals, but now it had become the gathering spot for every kid in the neighborhood. A hill that normally seemed too small for anything exciting was suddenly their very own snowy mountain. Kids were sliding down it on anything they could find: cardboard boxes, plastic lids, and even an old washboard someone's dad had dragged out. Robin and Murphy joined the action right away. They grabbed a baking sheet from Murphy's kitchen and raced to the top of the hill. With a hearty shove, they launched themselves down, giggling all the way. They crashed at the bottom in a heap, laughing so hard they couldn't feel the cold. Soon, the snowball fights began. Teams formed naturally. Kids from different blocks teamed up and took over behind benches and statues. Robin turned out to be a snowball sharpshooter, hitting Murphy right in the arm as he dashed across the battlefield. Murphy retaliated with a comical large snowball that fell apart mid-throw, leaving him laughing as Robin tagged him yet again. When they had their fill of dodging snowballs, the duo set about building the grandest snowman the neighborhood had ever seen. They rolled their snow into lopsided spears, stacked them high, and found old beads and bottle caps for decorations. The final touch was a Mardi Gras mask they borrowed from the neighbor's fence. The snowman stood proudly, a tribute to the city spirit, even in the midst of a blizzard. As the day wore on and the sun began to dip low, the kids, one by one, trickled home. But Robin and Murphy lingered a little longer, sliding down the hill one last time, their cheeks rosy and their nose running. They didn't care about the cold or the slushy mess that would soon replace their snowy background. Today was a day that remember forever. The day New Orleans froze over and gave them the best adventure of their young lives. The end. Well, as we come to a close of today's episode, let us remember that the stories we share serve as a reminder of the goodness that surrounds us every day. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So find your beauty, shine, and share it. Remember to spread love, joy, and positivity whenever and wherever you go. We'll see you next week for more stories. Until then, peace and love always. And thank you for tuning in to the Sunny Daze Podcast.